consider making changes. Raise your hand if you are the kind of person who considers yourself open to change. So you're going to need to turn on your cameras to do this, or you could type in the chat. And okay, fantastic. And I'm actually going to ask you to, if you don't mind, and if it is possible, to keep your cameras on so that we can have sort of this exchange of energy. And if it's not, I understand maybe you're eating lunch, and that's okay too. But if you can, it would be wonderful if you can keep them on. Have you ever heard the expression, if the only tool you have is a hammer, everything looks as if it was a nail? Ever heard that expression? No? Yeah. Okay. You see a lot of this in the business world. That no matter what the problem is, the answer is one of two solutions. If you need to attract more clients, work harder and learn more about email marketing, for example. If you need to improve the bottom line, work harder, learn more about money management. Need your employees to be more productive? Ask them to work harder and learn more. Okay, yes, learning is a lifelong endeavor. However, a lot of people, maybe you, are already working as hard as they can. If you could work harder, you would. But your health, your sanity, your relationships are already strained. So working harder is not the answer. When I was 10 years old, my mom took my brother and me to a meditation course. It's now known as the Silva method. So I learned how to meditate at a very young age. And then I didn't use it for the next 25 years. Then when I started my first business, I looked around at what are the most successful business people doing? Is there something they have in common? And what I found was that the majority of them practice meditation. People like Ariana Huffington and Oprah and Russell Simmons, who's the founder of Def Jam Records, and Ray Dalio, who's the founder of the world's largest hedge fund, and Bill Ford, the chairman of Ford Motor Company. All of them and many more, the list goes on and on. They all practice meditation. And still, I didn't do it because for some reason, I decided that working really hard 7 days a week for 12 to 14 hours a day, that was the better way to go. And you know what that got me? It got me a business that from the outside looked like it was doing $1 million a year. But in reality, I wasn't even at six figures. I had $72,849 in debt. It was actually more because I stopped adding it up at some point. And forget about paying yourself first because I never took a paycheck. And you know what else it got me? It got me a husband who was angry and resentful and hurt because I was putting all my time and energy into the business and none into our relationship. Oh, and he had no idea about the debt because I was hiding that from him. On the outside, everything was fine. It's just fine. Everything's fine. It's fine. It's fine. One day, 11 years after, if I just exhibit at this conference, if I just send out this direct mail campaign, if I just learn how to write better copy, 11 years of saying things like that. My friend Christine said to me, Lori, this is like watching you in an abusive relationship. that took a few months to sink in. And I realized that she was right. There was no saving this business, and I needed to shut it down. Around that same time, my mom was diagnosed with an acute form of leukemia, and she passed away 6 weeks later. She was only 73 years old, and she was the most vibrant, active, healthy person up until that time. So, as I was going through the grieving process for both my mom and my business, I started reflecting. Do I want to live the next 20 years the same way I've lived the last 20? And what would I do differently? There's a reason those high performing business leaders practice meditation and why they feel so strongly about its impact on their performance. There are a lot of positive benefits to it. For a long time, people considered meditation as just a spiritual practice, like prayer, which can be considered a form of meditation. Or it was something that just woo-woo hippies did while sitting cross-legged on a mat for 18 hours a day at an ashram. However, there's now so much research supporting the topic. Meditation can decrease anxiety because it builds resilience. So you spend less time stuck mulling over past mistakes and worrying about what might happen tomorrow. You feel this strength that you have to act in the present moment. And that means you perform better in stressful situations. Meditation enhances creativity. So when you're in that more meditative and relaxed state of mind, that's when you get the greatest insights and breakthroughs. Have you ever noticed that when you're in the shower or you're out on a run, you're getting great ideas, and it's because your mind is in that relaxed state. Brain imaging research shows that meditation helps regulate your emotions. It helps build your emotional intelligence. You develop greater patience with situations and people, and you become less likely to react impulsively. So you get less frustrated in emotionally charged situations, and it allows you to remain calm and peaceful no matter what's going on around you, which means that you can make more logical decisions. And along with helping you regulate your emotions, it improves your relationships because then you're less likely to get drawn into emotionally charged conflicts. It helps you feel more connected and become kinder and more compassionate. So that means that you can now connect with your clients on a different level and serve them better. And the same goes for the other people on your team. Staying focused is a challenge that we all face, right? We've got texts and emails and phone calls and 9 million other distractions pulling at us. But meditation helps you stay focused at the task at hand. And it helps you discern what information is important. So, and what information is important and then what isn't important. So you can understand what you should even be paying attention to. So then in conjunction with improving your focus, meditation helps improve your memory, which makes sense because if you have better focus, you'll retain more of the information that you're taking in. All of these benefits contribute to making those business leaders the top performers that they are. So you've got all these great reasons and research supporting the importance of meditation. So why isn't every business person on the planet practicing meditation? Interesting question, right? Why aren't they? Why wasn't I doing it even when I knew it could change my outcomes? Reason number one is puppy mind. Anybody know what puppy mind is? No? Yes? No? Puppy mind? Okay, I'll go with no. Let me share what puppy mind is with you. Have you ever seen a puppy? Yes? You've seen puppies. Okay, so you know they're all over the place. They can't sit still. They're so full of energy. They're running from one thing to another and jumping and playing. And puppy mind is when your thoughts are doing that same thing. You can't clear the thoughts in your head because they're just running constantly. And one thought, and then another thought, and then another thought, and puppy mind takes over. And if you're trying to meditate, it can be really frustrating because of all these thoughts in your head. So the way that I found to manage puppy mind is by acknowledging those thoughts racing through your mind. Instead of trying to just shove them out and pretend they're not there, acknowledge them. Oh, I see you. I see you. Okay. All right. And then come back to your breathing or your mantra or the voice of your meditation teacher. And you might have to do that every 30 seconds, maybe every 10 seconds, and that's okay. The more you practice, the better you become at it. And after a while, you might notice that the time between your mind wandering gets a little bit longer. That recognizing your thoughts and bringing your mind back, that's actually an integral part of meditation. People think that's why they're not good at it, but it is actually part of meditation. It doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It doesn't mean that you're not good at it. You know, think about a baby learning how to walk. A baby stands up and doesn't race across the room on the first try. Baby stands up and falls down, and stands up and falls down, and maybe stands up and takes one step and then falls down, gets up, takes one more step, falls down, keeps going. Baby eventually learns how to walk across the room. Baby doesn't fall down, stay there and go, I'm not good at this walking thing. Never mind. I'll just have somebody carry me for the rest of my life. That's not what happens. And so meditation is similar in that way, that the more you fall down and get up, the better you get at it. And eventually you get more of a sense of calm. Those thoughts don't hijack your experience. Reason number two is time. I don't have time to meditate. I don't have time to sit for an hour a day in meditation. There's a Zen proverb that goes something like, if you don't have time to meditate for an hour a day, you need to meditate for 2 hours a day. Yeah. Well, the reason I didn't have time was because I was so busy working so hard. But what if you didn't need an hour a day? What if you could do it in just 15 or 20 minutes a day? And by doing a meditation in those 15 or 20 minutes a day, you could be more effective and more productive throughout the rest of your day. Are you familiar with the Stephen Covey story about sharpening the saw? It's a really simple concept. So if you wanted to chop down a tree and you took any old saw and just went out there and started hacking at it, it could take you a couple hours, could take you 4 or 5 hours. Who knows how big, depending on how big the tree is. If you took 15 or 20 minutes to sharpen the saw before you went out there and hacked at the tree, it's going to come down a lot faster. It's going to be a lot more effective if your saw is sharp. It helps you chop down the tree faster. So taking those 10 or 15 or 20 minutes to sharpen the saw actually gives you time back because it takes you less time to chop down the tree. Meditation is the same. It's the same way, taking 15 or 20 minutes at any point in your day. I don't say you have to do it in the morning or you have to do it in the evening or you have to do it. There's no set time, place, whenever it fits into your schedule, but being consistent about it is the important part, because those 15 or 20 minutes are going to give you back your time later. Did anyone watch the Netflix documentary, The Social Dilemma? Have you seen that? It's really interesting and also quite frightening. If you haven't seen it, I would put it on your list. Your mind is being, what it talks about in the documentary is your mind is being rewired essentially without your conscious consent. Now, throughout our lives, our minds are being wired by different forces: our parents, our teachers, our peers, our society. All of that has happened throughout the centuries and generations of human development. However, it's happening way faster than ever before with social media now. Practicing meditation, and let's add in here gratitude too, bring that into the conversation, allows you to take back control of your own mind. You get to decide what you feed your mind and how you program your thoughts. You get to decide what you think and what you believe. And as you may know, those beliefs then determine your actions, and your actions determine your outcomes. So if you are not deliberately programming your own mind, you are leaving the chances of success to randomness and hard work alone. Are you okay with those odds? I'm not, but meditation, as you've heard, is one way to rewire your brain, to program yourself for success. Another powerful way to rewire your brain that goes hand in hand with meditation is, as I mentioned, to practice gratitude. Like meditation, practicing gratitude strengthens the neural pathways in your brain, and it releases those feel-good chemicals, serotonin and dopamine, which also contributes to reducing physical pain, improving your sleep quality, reducing cortisol, which is known as a stress hormone, increasing the effectiveness of your immune system, which is always important and even more important today. And it can actually change the world and the way that you see yourself. When I started my first business, that baking company, I didn't tell you what the business was, but it was a baking company. And I had a product called the Gratitude Cookie. And so I had this product called the Gratitude Cookie, but I was not actually personally a very grateful person. It's a little ironic. And one of my mentors, Paul Martinelli, said to me one day early on in the business, he said, Lori, you need to learn how to become more grateful. You need to, here's what I recommend. I recommend that you read chapter 7 in the book, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. All the chapters in that book are pretty short, so it's about 3-4 pages. He said, I challenge you to read chapter 7 every day, once in the morning and once at night, every day for 30 days. Can you do it? And I said, sure, Paul, I'll take on that challenge. So every day for the next 30 days, I read chapter 7 on gratitude in the morning and then at night before I went to bed. And at the end of 30 days, what do you think happened at the end of 30 days? Any ideas? I'll tell you, nothing happened. Absolutely nothing happened that was visible or noticeable. However, a few months later, my husband and I were driving home from Thanksgiving dinner at a friend's house. It was late at night and smoke started pouring out of the front of my car. I managed to pull off I-95 and at the next exit and pull into a gas station that was open right there off the exit and call a tow truck. Now, normally, I would have gone into a rant. I can't believe this is happening. This sucks. Why is this happening to me? And all this. But this time, that I instead went immediately to gratitude. Thank goodness we were able to get off the highway safely. And thank goodness this gas station was open. And thank goodness we're only 5 miles from home. And thank goodness a tow truck is coming to get us at 11:30 on Thanksgiving night. That is when I noticed the power and the difference of practicing gratitude, of instilling that sense of being grateful. Now, even if you're not a naturally grateful person, you can learn and become more grateful with practice. All right, so let's get to the part about how you can use meditation and gratitude to reach your goals faster. When I first created a meditation for my client, Tracy, her main goal was to find peace of mind, to be able to feel calm no matter what was happening in her life. And she had a lot happening in her life. After 3 months of listening to her customized gratitude meditation, what ended up happening was she manifested. Some people don't like that word manifest. That's why you can also use reaching your goals faster. It means the same thing. After 3 months of listening to her meditation, she got a raise at her job. She found a new condo in a better location that cost less than the one that she was living in. And she manifested, this is going to sound weird, but it was in her meditation. These were all things that she had in the meditation that she was visualizing and listening to. A tree outside her bedroom window. She wanted a tree, and someone came and planted a tree. How crazy is that? Like, how did that happen? But the reason these meditations are so powerful is because what you're doing is visualizing the goals and the outcomes as if they've already happened. And when you infuse those visualizations with the feeling of how would it feel to have this thing already, when you infuse the visualization and the meditation, or the visualization and the feeling together, that's when the power is really amplified. And once you do that, once you start doing that on a regular basis, it is crazy how circumstances arrange themselves. Coincidences start happening frequently. Puzzle pieces just start falling into place. It seems like magic, and maybe it is. But really there is science and psychology behind why it works. The way it works is you're actually setting a GPS, as if you were setting a GPS in a car. You're setting a GPS for your mind. And when you're visualizing something, you're instructing your mind to pay attention to it. So we're telling our subconscious mind to figure out how to get us the thing that we're visualizing. You still have to do some work, all right? Let's not fool ourselves. You can't just sit on the couch and visualize bags of money falling from the sky. That's not how it works. I wish that, but that's not. Again, you have to take responsibility for taking the next right action. You don't have to see, Martin Luther King had a quote, you don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step. And things start unfolding from there. Again, you notice the right people or resources or situations just start showing up. I've personally noticed this happening a lot more since I started listening to my own customized meditation. It's really astounding. And now let me point out that whether you're visualizing positive outcomes or negative outcomes, it works the same way. When you're worrying, you're visualizing what you don't want, but it doesn't matter because all your mind sees is an outcome and starts attracting it to you. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yeah. That's why it's so important to stay out of the anxious, chaos-filled place. And as I mentioned that earlier, that's one of the benefits of meditation, is keeping you calm and grounded and focused. Now, you said you were open to change. Would you like to know the process for creating a customized gratitude meditation so that you can then create your own, or I can help you create one? So if you're open to that, type yes in the chat box. Okay. So the way it works is that we are combining the power of gratitude and meditation, getting you into a relaxed state, and using the power of visualization, of using your own experiences and memories and goals, and then adding fuel to the fire by helping you feel gratitude for it all. So first thing you do is you write down all the things, the people, the memories, the experiences that you've had in the past in your life that you are grateful for. And then you think about what do you currently have in your life that you are grateful for, and write that down. And then you focus on your goals. What are the things that you're working on bringing into your life? What experiences, achievements, or feelings do you want to make into reality? Now, when we go back to that problem of puppy mind, when you are listening to your own memories, when your mind is listening to a review of its own memories and experiences, it doesn't wander as much. When it's listening to and imagining the specific goals that you want to bring into existence, it pays more attention. It's not as easily distracted. Now, on top of that, when you add in music in specific sound frequencies that is intentionally designed to take you into a deeper state of relaxation, you add even more energy. And when you put all of these pieces together, listening to your 18-minute meditation is no longer a chore. It's like getting a massage every day. If you are open to allowing more people and resources and situations to come to you, instead of working so hard all the time, let me help you with creating a customized gratitude meditation. You don't have to keep pretending everything is fine when it's not. You don't have to settle for fine when you can have fantastic. The high-performing business leaders we talked about give credit for their level of success to meditation. These meditations are the one thing that can fix fine. Because I do them all personally when I'm making them. Right now, I only have room in my schedule to do 5 a week, and once those are filled, I can't make more time. None of us can make more time. But if you're interested in getting on the schedule, you can either text me at, I'll put this in the chat box, at 571-317-1463, or you can private message me in the chat box here. Okay, just put it into the phone number in the chat box. Typically, there are only 3 reasons why people don't want help with their customized meditation. The first one is that I hear a lot is I don't have the money. And in which case I gotta ask you, what is your time worth? What is your energy worth? What are your relationships worth? Number 2, you don't believe that it works, which means that those top performing business leaders don't know what they're talking about. And that's okay. You can keep going the way you've been going if that's working for you. It's all good. And number 3 is you don't believe that I'm the person to create a meditation for you, in which case I'm a little hurt, but I get it. Not everyone, not what I do. What I do is not for everyone. So let me wrap up with one last story, and then we can do some Q&A. One of the things that I decided to do differently in the next 20 years was to start practicing meditation consistently. As I learned, being able to set that GPS in my mind for my new business's goals is critical to its success. That sense of peace and groundedness was also important to me, important to have, because I ended up leaving my marriage after 23 years because I learned that settling for fine when you can have fantastic is not okay. I urge you not to settle for fine either. You can have fantastic, and you don't have to work so freaking hard to get it. Let's open for questions and answers. And I have no problem if you want to open your mic or if you want to type it into the chat or however we want to manage this.
Hello, Lori. This is Gigi. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hi, Gigi.
Oh, such an amazing new tool that we can all put in our box of moving forward, moving ahead. So thank you. I was talking to someone earlier today. Matter of fact, it was Mr. Charles, and I was like, I'm off balance. I'm off, I'm off, I'm off.
Mm.
And then what you said was, it seems like when you go to the shower or, things like that. And it's definitely for me. And when I'm in the shower, it's like all of these things come and
Yeah.
they swarm down on me. And that sometimes I put piece of paper or something outside the shower that I have to write on. So
Yeah.
hitting that and then explaining how, implementing it into your program is really helpful. It's so funny, in addition, what you're saying, because I taken and put on my calendar at 11:11 breathe breaks.
Love it.
So every day it reminds me to do breathe breaks. Now I'm all new at this. I can use the help. So thank you so much, because I know I'm walking down the aisle understanding that this meditation is really good for me. Music meditation is fantastic for me,
Yeah.
but also really getting into the commitment of it all is something totally different that needs to be worked on. So thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Yeah. Coming back to that commitment part, it is difficult to get into a regular and consistent practice. And at the same time, going back to what I said about sharpening the saw, if we can get ourselves to understand that this is actually giving us more time and not taking time away from all of the other things we need to do. Yeah. Now I have to put my glasses on to see what Aditya. Have to leave early to meditate for 20 minutes before the next task. Awesome. Thank you for coming. Other questions?
Yes. Hi. So how much do your services cost?
The a customized meditation is $300, and that it comes out to be about 15 to 20 minutes. This is why I was talking about that time frame. And or we can do I call it a 3-pack, where people often want to update throughout the year because they're reaching those goals. And so they want to update them throughout the year. And that's $750 for 3 of them.
So you're saying that's 3 for 20 minutes or for 20-minute session?
Yeah. So the way the meditation works is that we go through what we talked about, the process I shared with you here that you could use to create your own. As far as I have a questionnaire that you fill out with the experiences, past, current, future. And then I put it together, record it for you as a meditation, put music underneath it with the specific healing frequency music that gets you into that really deep state, and send it back to you. So you have an MP3 that you can download and listen to on your phone or your computer, or wherever you like to listen. And that's something that then it's yours. You have it to listen to every day, twice a day, once a week, however frequently you feel you need it. It works best if you do every day. And so as people listen to it and start achieving their goals, like my client Tracy, she got that condo, she got that raise at her job. Now she 3 months later wants to create another one to update those goals. So that's where the 3 come in, as far as updating it throughout the year.
Makes sense. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Other questions? No other questions. I did such a great job at this. I've dumbfounded you. All right. And one of the questions I do get is how long does it take to start manifesting stuff? Well, it depends on, it could happen. It seriously could happen in a week, or it could take 3 months. It's hard to say. And it has a lot to do with how the programming of your mind, how open are you to it? How much programming do you have that we kind of have to overwrite a little bit? We're creating new neural pathways. So if you think of it as when you are walking on a path that's been that hasn't been created yet, and you're walking through the grass, and the more you walk over that same, the more the grass, the path starts to show up. You know, you're walking through the grass, and then a path, the more people, the more times you walk over it, we're creating those new pathways in your brain. And so sometimes it can take a few months, but it happens. It never doesn't happen. It's just a matter of how much time does it take, how committed are you to wanting to reach those goals by using this tool. Because the other tools, as we said, just working hard, you may get there, but what's the cost to your health and your well-being?
Lori, I had a question for you.
Yes.
Within the physical space of when you conduct the meditation and so on, what's the suggested environment? I've heard you can be in a comfortable seated position, laying down,
Yes.
etc. What do you suggest in terms of the light level, sound, all those things?
That is such a good question. Thank you for bringing that up, because there are so many misconceptions around it. Some people believe you have to be sitting in a certain position. I believe you have to do what is comfortable for you. You have to do what's going to work for you so that you will continue to do it. If somebody tells you you have to sit cross-legged and that doesn't feel comfortable, you're not going to do it. I personally do them in the morning before I get up. So I'm lying down in my bed still. Some people would say you can't do that. You have to sit up. You know what? Do what works for you. And as far as it helps if you're in a quieter place, if you can put headphones in, that closing your eyes and putting headphones in helps you to block out outside distractions so that you're only paying attention to what's going on, what's coming into your mind. But if you can't do that, you work with the environment that you have. And that's another thing, is that a lot of people have the misconception that meditation means sitting there in complete silence. And then it's really hard to turn off puppy mind. Guided meditations are a lot better for a lot of people, and there's nothing wrong with them. It's not even like they're training wheels. Some people, I personally use guided meditations, my own and other people's, all the time, almost exclusively. I'd say 95% of the time I'm listening to a guided meditation. So meditation doesn't have to be sitting in silence for as long as you can stand it. You can listen to music only, or listen to a guided meditation with music, or a guided meditation without music. Again, experiment and figure out what works for you, because doing anything, even doing 3 minutes, if you don't have any more time, is better than nothing.
Great.
Yeah.
Hi, Lori. Thank you for the presentation. Is the meditation done once per day, or is it done in the beginning of the day, or is it up to your discretion?
It is completely up to your discretion. Again, when does it fit into your schedule? I like to do mine at the beginning of the day so I can set my intentions and get myself in the right frame of mind. And at the same time, some people find that doing it at night as they're falling asleep. And I do that too sometimes at night, or taking a break in the middle of the day just to have some time to decompress in the middle. Again, it's whatever works for you. There are no rules around this. I feel like people have been told so many rules about meditation, and that's why they don't do it, because they can't conform to those rules. No rules. Let's let go of all those.
Lori, would you suggest the book that you mentioned earlier, The Science of Getting Rich?
Yes, I would. And if you would, I have a PDF. I can share a free PDF version with you.
And I just put it in the chat area.
Yeah, The Science of Getting Rich. So again, if you want to text me at that number that I put in the chat, or private message me in the chat, and I can get you a copy of that, the book, The Science of Getting Rich. It's amazing that that book was published in 1910.
I put your information back. in the
Okay,
chat again.
great. I was just going to do
Scrolled-
that.
It scrolled up. So
Yeah, I
put
was
it back at the
going to do
bottom.
that, but thank you for beating me to it. Yeah, the book was published in 1910 and it's unbelievable how relevant it still is.
Any other books you would suggest in addition to that?
Oh, so many good ones. Mike Dooley, this is one of my all-time favorite books. Mike Dooley has a book called Infinite Possibilities. Oops, infinite I'm putting this in the chat. There we go. And then, yeah, that's a great one. I'm reading a book right now. I haven't finished it. I'm supposed to have a conversation with somebody about this book. We promised each other we were going to read it and then we're going to discuss it on Thursday, and I'm still only halfway through it. But it's called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. So Napoleon Hill is much more well known for the book Think and Grow Rich.
Mhm.
But he also wrote a book called Outwitting the Devil, and that is another great book for mindset.
Well, we have a few more minutes if anyone has any questions. And we have a little bit smaller group than we did before. Feel free to unmic, or if you want to put it in the chat. Oh,
number
the
looks-
question,
The number.
the phone number. It had in effect.
Oh, because all right, it's 571 146. Yeah, you just 31. Wait, now I'm confused here. Hang on. 571-317. Here, I'm putting it.
Oh, okay, you got it.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Here you go. 571-317-1463.
There we go. It looks. Yeah. The 146 was throwing me off too. I'm looking at it going, there's something.
Oh yeah, why did I? That was wow. What did I do? Thank you for catching that. That is bizarre. How did that even happen? Okay, because I was copying and pasting it off of something else. I don't know how that. Thank you very much.
And I'm going to put that last title in there too. Outwitting the Devil.
Outwitting the Devil. Yep, Napoleon Hill.
And you're right. Yeah, I do recognize his name more for Think and Grow Rich.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the classic book that every entrepreneur and business person talks about. If there's one book to read, it's Think and Grow Rich, which I also highly recommend that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So if the Science of Getting Rich, the PDF, if you want to give me your email address, then I can message it to you. That would be fantastic. And you can private I think you can. Oh, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't private message me, I guess.
Actually, they
yeah.
can. They have permission.
Oh, okay. Okay. I just can't see it because why would I message myself? The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Schumel. I think I've heard of that book, but I don't think I've read it. Yeah. There are so many good books about mindset and meditation and getting yourself into and visualization, using visualization. That's one of the things, the book Infinite Possibilities that I mentioned by Mike Dooley, he talks a lot in that book about using visualization. And when he was at a place in his life, he was working for a big corporate company, he hated his job, and he had no idea how he was going to get himself out of the situation he was in. And so he didn't even know what to visualize. All he knew was what he had, and that was not what he wanted. So he simply visualized himself being happy and high-fiving his colleagues and being excited to come into work every day. That's all. That's all. That was as far as he could see. And as I talked about, these miraculously weird magic things happening, a few months, I don't even know if it was that long, might have been a month, into his visualizing that, he got transferred to a different department in his company where he was a much better fit. And those things started, he was so much happier, and he was happy to go to work, and he was happy to hang out with the colleagues that he had in this new department, and everything turned around because of his visualizations. Again, just simply visualizing himself happier. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking. I don't see any other questions so far. Tina did add her information in there, I believe.
Yep. I got.
Well, I'll tell you what. I think it came to me.
I got Sherry's.
Okay, let me get you Tina's.
Okay. Yeah, if anyone, I got it. All right.
Yep. So for anyone that doesn't know, all you have to do is go to, in the chat area, go to the where you see the name. It might say everyone, but just click the down arrow and then scroll down to the person that you want to send the information to.
Yeah. And if you think of questions later, again, text me, or I'll put my email in here too.
And we're also going to make sure, don't feel if you didn't catch that, we're also going to follow up afterwards for everybody who is on the webinar and make sure that you get Lori's information. So we'll get that to everybody.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think we've covered everybody there. I don't see any new questions.
All right.
And Lori, thank
you.
Thank you so much for a great session. We definitely, want to have you back again. This was, I think it's timely because of what we're dealing with now. I mean, it's easy to have puppy mind. I mean, we had it before COVID, we have it during COVID, we'll have it after COVID, but this definitely is a framework for helping reduce the puppy mind. And to just, as folks on the call, on the webinar who are business owners, definitely giving them a focus and a hope.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much to all of you for coming. I appreciate the opportunity to share this. All right.
So I encourage you to connect with Lori. And again, we're going to be sending out an email with her contact information so you can do a follow-up and connect with her.
All right.
Lori, thank you again. Everybody on the webinar, thank you. Stay safe. And I hope you have a takeaway that you can use to improve your business, which I know for me, I took some great stuff away, and I'm better for it, definitely.
Good, good. All right. Take care. Have a great rest of your week.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.